screams and flames now the only things left after Viking adventures, for seeds of new life rose to prosper in the ruins of conquest. Though not explorers who had fled for millennia after the centralization of the Utek family, those who had achieved something were few. Not everyone can be Huf Derrickson, who explored roads to Zebrica and established the Östern colonies in Griffonia with bare hooves. But this yearning for the unknown treasure and freedom had never stopped the Olenians from risking their lives in the new world. As outcasts and colonists established hideouts in Griffonia, the Utek family also turned their gates southward, drawn by the saga of the settlers who ventured into Zebrica. The Ivar brothers, Knuf and Ivar, were appointed for this royal ambition, and unlike the renegade Huf Derrickson, the Ivars operated with the official backing of the Utek family. Their mission was not mere exile, but expansion. They first landed on the island of Usihirvima, viewing it as a stepping stone to Hindia. In 434, they invaded Ostakarambi, clearing fields to establish their territories, known as the Deerlaw, in accordance with the agreement with the Olenian king. Their massive conquest scorched endless forests and villages, expanding the Deerlaw to almost the entire Hindia. Knuf and Ivar believed it was the Olenian gods who guided their access into victory, but once the rumors planted the seed of doubt, their hooves were no longer firm. Native religions like the Tuya and Mahimata were heathens to the Olenians, being suppressed and slaughtered under Knuf's order. But before the Vikings could cleanse all the resistance, one of their priests, only called Bushan, defeated the great armies of Knuf, making the mighty Ivar brothers afraid for the first time. Fearing of losing blessings from the Olenian gods, Ivar took a prophetic warnings of a native mystic, burning all the Olenian seers in a heretical way. Perhaps this is a consequence of heresies. Knuf was mysteriously killed during a regular battle in Stakbal, and after that, the Olenian god's influence inevitably faded from Hindia entirely. When Ivar was still alive, the Sea Kings and Viking commanders under his order could keep the Deerlaw firm and stable. But once his authority was gone with his death, things started heading towards chaos. Benjamin Kudlinen, the first of his name, one of the Viking commanders, had been slowly stealing power from the rest of the Sea Kings located on the island of Usihirvima, the very power center of the Deerlaw since the first landing of the Ivar brothers. Benjamin I turned the city of Ostakarambi into the throne of the Kudlinen family, challenging the sole authority of the rightful heirs of the Deerlaw. Benjamin's attempt had somehow separated his feuds of Chital from the Deerlaw, and in response to this usurper of the Kudlinen family, Subtitle, the last Sea King of the line of Ivar, declared war on Benjamin in an attempt to reclaim Ostakarambi in 981. It was Benjamin IV in charge of Chital at that time. Instead of fortifying Ostakarambi, he sent his brother Jakob the Great to defeat Suttenberg before his fleets could land. The Kudlins had won in the end, and no one knows what happened to the rightful heir of the Deerlaw after that battle. Benjamin IV, now the Soyara of the entire Hindia, started his industrial campaign through absolutist governance. The economic reforms angered the Oleno-Hindian nobles in the south, who relied on enslaving the indigenous on their estates. After the death of Benjamin IV, his militant Viking son, Arthur Kudlinen, was left alone to deal with the rebellious nobles of the south, backed by the Dalhi Confederation. One of the rebel leaders assassinated Arthur in 1001. Although Jakob the Grey again defeated the rebellion in the south and saved Hindia for the second time, a compromise was inevitably reached, elevating the younger brother of Arthur, who was the second son of Benjamin IV, to the crown as Benjamin V. Unlike his brother Otto, the new Jarl pursued a more mild-mannered policy with the native Hindians. In response to the public's anger towards Benjamin IV's absolutism, Benjamin V established a council of 7 in 1003, including 3 natives, 3 Olenian nobles and himself as the center of Indian power in an effort to promote harmonism. Yet, this so-called democratic attempt has somehow turned into a total power struggle among 6 councillors. As one of the most essential ministers who prevented the revolution in the south, Benjamin de Virtanen is always confused with Benjamin V by the other lords. Aside from having the same name as his king, de Virtanen has been serving the nation and the crown as the leader of the reformists. In the council, de Virtanen speaks for rationality and centralization against the Alenia nobles represented by Jacob the Grey, the hero who saves Hindia Taurus. Although Jacob was not a politician, his conservative views have led to many accusations from the liberals represented by Eva Pillai. However, when the deer were at each other's throats in the council, the sacred island of Osihirvima was invaded and occupied by the harpies of Macavia, causing even greater turmoil and mistrust against Benjamin V. If the Jarl cannot navigate without significant sacrifice, then the end of his reign may echo that of his brother. But this time, even Jacob the Grey cannot clear up all the mess.